The first lesson I learned in MDM530 brand development is that branding involves more than a good visual and logo. To create an impactful brand, there must be a foundation built upon research and data. Branding involves a great amount of communication with consumers, employees, and stakeholders to establish the bigger company picture, where all involved parties have a clear focus on the brand values, mission, and strategies needed to close the gap between a brand's ideal situation and where they currently stand. Branding is a gut feeling. It is what people think when they hear a brand name. Brands only exist and survive in the consumer mind, so remaining relevant to the brand's served audience involves producing strong, emotional responses that lead to consumer action. As a media designer, it's important to balance research, communication, and visuals to produce strategies and work that accurately reflects the brand's core and emotionally engages with the brand's true intended audience. The second lesson I learned is that brands shouldn't be overwhelming. Growth in accessible modern technology gives consumers access to the entire world at their fingertips. This, however, leads to endless amounts of unnecessary brand exposure and consumption. The best approach as a media designer is to become a filter for a brand and its competition to provide the audience with just the right amount of necessary brand information and emotional story for the audience to make a sound decision on their own. In branding, the consumer experience is the most important factor to focus on. If a consumer has a horrible time interacting with your brand, it's unlikely that brand perception or loyalty will be obtained. The purpose of simplifying brands as a media designer is to give consumers the most efficient, transparent, and emotionally satisfying path to take when interacting with the brand to increase brand trust, engagement, and satisfaction. The last lesson I learned is that brands are handcrafted experiences relying upon emotional stories, strategies, and media. Every brand and audience should be unique in the marketplace, and the best way to craft a personalized experience for consumers is through a genuine brand story. Rather than listing accomplishments, it's more impactful to the listener when an emotional narrative about who a brand is, what they do, and why they are important is presented. This gives listeners a better way to remember the brand. As a media designer, being in touch with a brand's vision, personality, and experience leads to successful branding. A brand experience is an everlasting emotional imprint in the consumer's mind that ties every interaction had between a brand and consumer into positive or negative memories. Going forward as a media professional, I will not dismiss the significance that brand research, simplicity, media presentation, and emotional storytelling can produce for consumers. Thank you.